this won't be as positive. Pretty bad loss to the Hawks by 20. And the Hawks didn't have Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, or Kristaps Porzingis. No Reaves for the Lakers, but it's probably the worst loss of the season. I think that's fair to say. Boogie, when you lose a game like this, what do we do with that?
You move forward. This is a team that's started off pretty hot. Obviously, you have your slumps throughout the season, but you keep moving forward. These type of games happen. This is a long season, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be more games like this down the road. But you keep moving forward. You keep building. You keep the goal in mind, which is, obviously competing for a championship at the end of the year. But like I said, these type of losses happen. You just keep moving forward, put this loss behind you. Short-term memory, and you move on to the next.
Yeah. When you look at the start they had with no LeBron James, Luka in and out of the lineup, Austin Reaves in and out of the lineup, 7-3, it's a hell of a start for them, and they're going to continue to get better when they get fully healthy and fully loaded. And they found something. They found something with Marcus Smart, kind of throwing him in there. DeAndre Ayton has been more consistent. Jake LaRavia, now you're hearing that name more and more. So they're finding guys of what they can do with this team, and when the guys are fully loaded, when they're fully healthy, we'll see their real, rotations and kind of their roles to come real. But it's a great start. Like, if you told me right now all the issues they've had, that they're 7-3, there's always going to be bad loss. There's 82 games in this season. Like, there's always going to be stinkers like this. I don't even know if you watch film on something like this. It was so bad. I think you play them one time probably in 3 months in LA. Like, who cares? You flush this one. You look at the bright side that right now you're 7-3 and you're not even close to being fully healthy, and you're going to continue to get better and better.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip the script on this one. I just think they got caught slipping. They played an Atlanta Hawks team that before that game was 3-1 with Trae Young being out of the lineup. They've been playing well. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you can get tricked into it when you look and see Porzingis is out, Trae Young is out, Johnson is out. Oh, we'll be fine on this
Easy
one.
night.
Yeah, and what you run into is a group of guys that are hungry. Yeah, that are hungry to continue to win. And I think that's what they ran into with the Atlanta Hawks. I don't put too much stock into this game. I think they got caught slipping.
They probably had some lemon pepper Lou the night before. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But
why do you have to say it all creepy though? Like when you do it, like.
Yeah, who knows? But that's their prerogative. But on the basketball side, on the basketball side of it, I think they just ran into an Atlanta Hawks team that's hungry to get that name straight in.
Prerogative. Yeah. Well, JJ Redick has no time for any of these reasoning moments because he was not happy about it afterwards. Here he is.
Was there a moment in that third quarter that you realized that this was not going to be one of those nights where at least your first unit was going to get banged?
I realized that in the first 2 minutes of the game.
What did you see in those first 2 minutes?
Nothing.
By the way, that whole post lasted like 2 minutes total. They had just come off of a 5-game winning streak, by the way, Lou, but he does not handle loss as well. What do you think about that? I kind of like it.
You know what? I didn't love it. And if I'm a player, I don't really love it, especially.
Really?
We're in a good run. We're in a good season. Like, let's not overreact and do this.
Interesting.
Like, we're not having our way in this season. Like, we're having a pretty good season. And JJ should know as well as anybody, these type of nights happen. These type of games happen. Now, his reaction can be his reaction. But if I'm one of the players and I'm one of the guys that's playing for him, I'm not really feeling that reaction. Like, 2 minutes within the game, and we still got 46 minutes left to play. So you telling me in those first 2 minutes, you knew that we weren't gonna have a good game, or you didn't see nothing out of our performance. Some of that is your responsibility as well. If you don't see us having the juice and having the energy that we need, or we're not executing the way, then put us in those positions. That's what your job is too. So, kind of the attitude towards it, I didn't love it. Sometimes it is on the players. Sometimes it is on the coaches. Sometimes it's a collection. I felt like in Atlanta it was a collection. So for him to kind of dish it off, I wouldn't have been feeling it as a player, but, both of these guys can tell you it's a lot of long nights in the NBA, and everybody ain't going to agree. You're not going to be happy with everybody's attitude every single night. So it'll be one of those things you have a conversation with JJ. I'm sure he had a conversation with them for sure, and then you get over it and you move on.
It's just funny to me because he left the booth doing what we did to go coach this team, and now he's got all this gray hair and all this stress,
like being a president.
Yeah, like I'm with Lou. Like, I don't think you need to overreact in a situation. It's the 10th game of the season, and again, you guys are off to a pretty good start for what the situation is. But on the flip side, you do respect it, and he's a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve, and he cares, and he, he's not sleeping nights. He's watching film. He's trying to find ways, which every good coach should do. I just think there's a time and a place for this, and who knows? Maybe I've had coaches before that, after a bad loss, they come in the locker room and then they'll say something to you, and then they'll go to the media, and it's kind of a different tone,
like
but they just want to get the message. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you never know what's really going on here. If you pulled in the guys after in the office the next day and said, listen, this is why I did that, there's could be a method to his madness, but it did seem a little overreactive, but I think they're going to be fine.
That was like Duke, JJ.
You gotta know the personality of your team, right? Again, you off to a 7-3 start, and then your coach goes into the post game and acts like y'all are 0-10. It's kind of like, damn, coach, we can't have a bad night. You can't have a bad night. We can't have a bad night. What's up with you, bro?
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, what's up with you? And so, depending on the personalities of that team, this can linger. If Luka decided that he wanted to be offended by that, this could be a lingering problem that you don't necessarily have. And so, but he has every right, to react how he reacts as the head coach of that basketball team. But if you're off to the start that you're having, I felt like his message could have been a little better. And I'll say this about, T. Lue was one of my coaches, right? Never gave a post-game speech to the team. Never spoke after games, because he said for him, emotions are always running high.
Yeah.
And he'd rather talk the morning after.
After watching film.
Yeah, after watching the film, everybody calms down. He'd rather has the conversation after, so emotions won't put you in a position that's not helpful or productive to the team. Sometimes these aren't productive, and sometimes they can light a fire up under you as well. And so, depending on the personality of your team, how this message gets perceived in the locker room.
I'm gonna disagree with both of you guys when it comes to this situation. The reason I say that, we're talking about a Lakers team, and we've seen them in the past. They've had different coaches and whatever the case may be, but for the most part, in the past, they started off slow a lot. Even throughout the season, they started off slow. They had to, pick up steam throughout the season. This is a season where they started off pretty hot, and I think that's part of the identity of who J.J. Redick is. That aggressiveness, that assertiveness, that, emphasis on, playing the game the right way from start to finish. And I think that's credit to why this Lakers team has started off as hot as it has. Also, when I appreciate a coach like this. I want a fiery coach. I've played for fiery coaches. It matches, who I am as a player. My high school coach, Otis Hughley, the same way. My college coach, John Calipari, same way. And I think, that identity of a coach carries over into the team where, like you said, you have a Lakers team starting off the way they did. But I've also played for, Hall of Fame coaches that are, falling asleep on the bench during the game.
Dang,
so,
who's that?
For me, I appreciate this, and
So you wouldn't be offended or bothered?
I wouldn't be offended at all. I
like
love
a
the
fiery
fire.
coach.
I love the emphasis. He's
love
on
a
his
fiery
team.
coach.
Yeah, I think this is great for this Lakers team, and it's also part of the reason they started off as good as they have.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah, I know. I like the Hall of Fame coach that fell asleep. More about that.
I mean, I play for a Hall of Fame coach.
Why do you keep doing the Hall of Fame?
Well, give him his flowers. It look like you want to give him his
Sacramento.
flowers.
Yeah, and he was falling asleep during the games.
Well, look, let me ask you this though, Boogie, as a player, right? I love a fiery coach too. I like a coach that can light a fire up under my ass. But do we love it in public like this?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We're all athletes, we're all professionals.
Because you set the standard.
If this is the worst, if that's the worst.
Standard. But no, I don't think that's the worst. But if this is the standard you're going to set when we have a bad night.
That's a great standard.
Then
Because
you
you
gonna
brought
have-
up the Clippers,
Yeah.
and I also played for Ty Lue.
Yeah.
And it would be games where we would come in where we play like complete
And you need
crap,
something.
And it's, all right, see y'all tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's no urgency. And we look at how these Clippers teams is playing out, and it's getting worse and worse by the year. And I love Ty Lue.
Yeah.
I think he's an incredible X and O guy. But sometimes
let me ask you this.
sometimes that laid back approach carries over into the team,
Right.
and then you have a laid back team.
Right.
And every time the game starts, every time it's clutch moments in the game, they're still laid back because that's the identity you've created. That's the standard you created for your team. So when you got a fiery coach like JJ, I don't like this. We play like crap. I knew in the first 2 minutes we weren't ready to play. That's because that's their identity this season.
That's your coach's identity. So again,
A coach's
personality
identity carries over to the team's identity.
You mentioned Ty Lue, right? Your personality. You don't need nobody to tell you had a bad night.
Nah.
You know you had a bad night. So you got a coach that come in there, you ain't responding well to that shit right after that game.
I might.
Depending.
I just might.
Depending. But we
I just might.
also know it can go
I mean,
He can go the complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
I mean, that's with anything.
Yeah, for sure.
That's with anything. That's besides the point.
So, but listen, so
the Clippers need JJ. They need JJ and Redick's
They
approach
picture
right
ain't
now.
on here. I'm just saying, as far as the coaches, and you're a 7-3 team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with my coach lighting into us in the locker room, and then he go out into his press conference and say, you know what, we can have a better night. I'm okay with that. He cursed me out for 15 minutes after the game, in private, in that locker room. Hey, y'all didn't have it. Y'all look like trash tonight, and we got to get better. Hey, tomorrow practice.
You just lost to a team with 3 starters out.
Yeah, and you ain't the first team that lost to them.
Yeah, but
we're
not.
They 4-1 before that.
I'm not going to discredit Atlanta.
But that's a caveat too.
I'm looking at it from JJ's perspective. With this team that started off hot, you come in, you lay an egg with a team that's missing 3 starters.
Yeah,
I'm pissed.
But we didn't see
I
fire.
realized it in the first 2
I didn't
minutes.
see fire. I saw dismissive.
That was just frustration.
I didn't see fire. I saw dismissive. So if my coach is like,
really, you don't see fire in that?
I saw
no,
fire.
I didn't see fire. Fire to me is help me understand if I'm a person of the media. Help me understand if I'm a Lakers fan. Help me understand if I'm a casual basketball fan. What didn't you see in the 2 minutes?
You said casual. They're not going to understand.
But that's you right about that.
Yeah.
You make a great point.
They're casual. They're not going to understand.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if I'm in the locker room and I'm one of your players and I'm looking at this, what didn't you see in the 2 minutes? What didn't you see? Instead of just saying, I didn't see nothing, and then you storm off. That's not productive either. So fire and being dismissive are 2 different things. That's what I'm.
My point is, too.
I agree with what you're saying.
I don't think Luka is seeing this and being like, "Damn, that was a shot or that was personal." I think this is more directed at the Aytons, the Laravias, the more
Can't make a
youthful.
It's
separation.
to the team.
though. You
It's
can't make
to
a
the team.
I think that
separation.
is
You can't make a
I think
separation.
that is a sense of urgency. We have expectations this
Yes.
season,
Yes.
and this is. I'm not going to let it go on anymore. This first 2 minutes was unacceptable. And by the way, they were missing 2 or 3 starters too. If you think about it, with Austin Reaves, LeBron, Gabe Vincent, they're missing guys too. So you just can't have this let up against a team that you know you should be, everyone else thinks you should be, and you came out here and you played like shit. I'm gonna let you know about it. I think as long as there's that balance and that dynamic. Not necessarily Ty Lue letting it go to the next day. I think there's a time and place for that. Like JB Bickerstaff used to do that too. When we'd get our ass kicked and he would bring it in. He'd say something, but he'd say, "I want to dissect the film before I get into this because you know what I mean."
Because emotionally you can take it somewhere that it don't even need to go.
But then some nights he would
on
also
one night.
let us have it and just be like, "Look, this was unacceptable," especially when it came down to effort. And this, I feel like that was because effort. This wasn't X's and O's.
You know what this also was?
As a coach, when it comes to effort, that's the most frustrating thing to do. Even
you
as a
can't
player,
coach-
you
you can't coach
can't
effort.
coach effort. So those are the
Can't
types
coach
of
effort.
results you're going to get when the glaring problem in the game was we just didn't give a lot of effort. It wasn't we didn't make shots. It wasn't, we didn't make a good move or we didn't defend. We just didn't have effort. Those are the types of responses you get when it comes to effort. That was an effort game.
You know what else this game was? It's a reputation game, too. It was in Atlanta. If this game was in Oklahoma or somewhere else, we're not even having this conversation.
That's true.
But this is an Atlanta game or a Miami game or a New York game. Players know these are the games that you can't cough up.
Yeah.
Because coaches are already coming in at shoot around. Coaches saying, "Oh, where y'all was at last night? What y'all was doing?" So that probably has something to do with how dismissive he was in this post game as well. This is a reputation game.
They definitely played like they had a good night in Atlanta.
This is a reputation game. And if they did, you can't blame them.
Yeah, can't blame them. We only go to Atlanta
You go
once.
once. I'm going to get it off.
I need a quick grade on the Lakers right now so far. Chandler, you first.
B+. Like, I think about it. They're 7-3. Right now, if it ended, they have home court advantage, and LeBron James hasn't played, and their other 2 best players have missed half the games.
Yeah.
I don't know how much better they could be right now for what they've thrown out there on the courts. I think they've had a hell of a start, and I think they're going to continue to get better, and they're going to be there.
B+. Anybody got better or worse?
I got an A.
A,
I give
okay.
them. I give them A. Yeah, this is a great start for them. This, like I said before, this is a team that's in the last recent years they've started off slow almost every season. To come out to this hot start, to create this new standard for themselves. Obviously, you got your 2 stars in Austin Reaves and Luka holding the fort down. Till your 3rd star comes back in LeBron. I think this is a great start for them, and they can only get better from here.
And think about what we're saying. We're all giving them A's and B's, and that's why JJ Redick was that fiery or whatever, because he
that
sees
wasn't fire. He
I'm just
said
saying,
one-word answers. That ain't fire. Y'all stop saying it's fire.
Okay,
fire.
Lou, that's why he's pissed. Okay, that's why he's
dismissive.
That's why he's pissed off and frustrated, because he knows how good this team can be and how good they've been to go out there and play like shit and get blasted by a team that they shouldn't that annoyed
Fire.
him.
Fire.
I think
That's
that
normal.
frustration was
I'm okay.
only
Yeah,
about
that's normal.
standard. It was only about
Listen,
standard.
Don't yell at me for 10 minutes in the locker room and then go on national TV in your presser and act like you ain't got nothing to say with this smug look on your face. That's all. As a player, depending on my mood and how we're swinging when we on that road, because you know we are moody people on these roads. Everybody dealing with something. And if I look up and that's my coach, in the morning I might have an issue too. You ain't the only one in here mad, JJ. What's up with you, dog?
Well, then you all have talk.
So if I'm grading this team with all of that still, I still give them an A-, B+ for sure.
Okay, there you go. We're going to take a very
Good
quick
grade.